Okay, let's unpack this. I want you to close your eyes for a second.
Uh-huh.
Well, assuming you aren't driving a car or operating heavy machinery, of course.
Good caveat.
I want you to picture yourself in a very specific, very familiar setting. You are walking through those automatic sliding glass doors.
Yep, I'm there.
You get hit with that blast of overconditioned air. You grab a metal cart. And let's be honest, it's probably the one with the wobbly left wheel that drives you absolute crazy.
Always. It's always the wobbly wheel.
And you enter the grocery store.
Yeah.
Now, usually when we do this, what's the mindset? We are on a mission. We are thinking about a checklist. We're thinking, I need milk, I need eggs, I need something for dinner tonight because I completely forgot to thaw the chicken.
Right.
It's a chore. It is a logistical hurdle between us and being fed.
It's a supply run. That is how 99% of us view it. It's purely transactional.
Exactly. But today, for this deep dive, we are going to completely flip that perspective. We're looking at a massive stack of research here. Articles, biochemical studies, nutritional breakdowns, specifically focusing on ocular health.
That's right. Eye health.
And the very first thing this material does is reframe that whole grocery store experience. It argues that the grocery store is not a pantry, it's not a warehouse, it is a laboratory.
That's the phrase that really struck me too. The grocery store lab. It changes the agency of the shopper immediately.
The grocery store lab. I love that because it implies that every time you put something in that cart, you aren't just buying a product, you are conducting an experiment.
You are. You are selecting chemical compounds, you are choosing reagents,
Yep.
and the subject of the experiment, it's you. Or, more specifically for our deep dive today, the subject is your eyes.
Which is interesting because when I think about eating for my health or, dieting, I'm usually thinking about my waistline, maybe my heart if I've had a checkup recently. I think most people are thinking about abs or arteries. But eating for your eyes, that feels incredibly specific. It
Sure.
feels almost niche.
It does feel niche, but that's a dangerous misconception. If we connect this to the bigger picture of human physiology, the eyes are, they're incredibly sensitive indicators of systemic health.
How so?
Think about it. The retina is one of the most metabolically active tissues in the entire body.
More than muffle.
It consumes oxygen and fuel at a rate that rivals the brain. Per gram, it's just off the charts. It is a high-performance engine.
So it's hungry.
It is ravenous. And because it's so active and because it's so delicate, it requires very specific fuel to function and to protect itself. The source material we have today makes a really compelling argument that the decisions we make in that grocery store lab are having a profound, direct impact on our vision.
And the scary part is...
The scary part is, we often don't realize the experiment is failing until it's way, way too late.
That is the stake setter right there.
Yeah.
And the mission for this deep dive is exactly that. Nutrition for eyes. But, and here's the twist that I think is going to catch a lot of people off guard, this isn't just about eating more carrots.
No. We will get to carrots, certainly. But the eat your carrots advice is sort of the kindergarten version of this conversation.
We all grew up with the Bugs Bunny logic, right? Eat carrots, see in the dark. And sure, that has truth to it. We'll get into that.
There's a kernel of truth.
But the sources we're looking at today suggest that the biggest threat to your eyes might not be a lack of vegetables, but the presence of something else, something you might consider a staple, something you might be eating every single day. We need to talk about baguettes.
We really do. And it's going to be a difficult conversation for the bread lovers out there, myself included.
Oh, I am devastatingly fond of bread. A warm, crusty baguette with some good butter, that is my love language, so this deep dive is going to hurt me personally.
I get it.
But we have a story to tell first. A parable, almost, that sets the stage for the chemistry we need to discuss. The story of a man our source material calls Baker Bob.
Baker Bob. This character is central to understanding the biological truth we're trying to uncover today.
So, introduce us to Bob. Who is this guy? Because he sounds like a friendly neighbor.
So, the source material paints a very vivid picture of Bob. He is, as the name suggests, a baker. He spends his life surrounded by the smell of yeast and flour. He loves his craft.
He's surrounded by comfort food all day long.
All day. But Bob, like many people in their middle years, is trying to be health conscious. He cares about his body. He wants to live a long time. He's trying to do the right thing.
Right. He's not ignoring his health. He's not reckless.
Not at all. In fact, he's made sacrifices, big ones in his mind. He goes to his doctor for his annual physical, and he proudly announces, "Doc, I did it. I cut out the candy bars. I stopped eating the Snickers at 3 p.m. I stopped drinking the soda with lunch. I'm good, right?"
Which, to be fair, is a great step. I don't want to minimize that. Cutting out soda is huge.
It is a massive step. It removes a lot of empty calories and high fructose corn syrup. It's a win.
So he's expecting a pat on the back.
He is, but here is the mystery. Here is where it gets really interesting. Bob's doctor runs his blood work, specifically looking at his hemoglobin A1C levels.
And for those who might not know or who hear it in commercials but don't quite get it, quickly, what is A1C?
Think of A1C as a long-term report card for your blood sugar. If you prick your finger right now, that tells you what your blood sugar is the second. It's a snapshot.
The here and now.
Exactly. But A1C measures the percentage of your red blood cells that have been glycated.
Glycated. That sounds sticky.
It is sticky. It literally means sugar-coated. When there is too much sugar floating in your blood for too long, it bonds to the proteins in your red blood cells.
Yeah.
It turns them into microscopic candied apples.
How visual.
And because red blood cells live for about 3 months, the A1C gives you a 3-month average of your blood sugar control. It's the truth teller. You can't cheat the A1C by eating a salad the morning of the test.
Okay, so Bob cuts the candy. He's expecting a gold star. He's expecting that candied apple percentage to drop.
Exactly. He's feeling good about it. But the result comes back, and his A1C is still high.
It didn't move.
It hasn't budged. Bob is confused. He's frustrated. He feels like he's doing the work. He's dealing with the cravings. He's saying no to the chocolate, but getting none of the reward. He's stuck in a paradox.
I feel like I know so many people in this exact position. They are eating clean or what they think is clean, but the numbers aren't moving. They feel like their body is broken.
It's not that his body is broken. It's that his categorization system is flawed. It's a psychological trap.
What do you mean by categorization system?
Bob has created a category in his mind called sweets.
Okay.
In that category, he puts candy bars, cakes, soda, cookies, all the obvious stuff. He eliminates the sweets category and assumes he has eliminated the sugar.
Oh, he hasn't.
He hasn't, because Bob is a baker. And what does a baker eat for lunch?
A baguette. A nice, crusty, warm baguette. Maybe a sandwich on white bread.
Precisely.
Right.
And in Bob's mind, that baguette is in the savory category.
Right.
It's bread. It's lunch. It is distinct from candy. Even the section of the grocery store is different. You don't buy bread in the candy aisle.
No, it feels like real food. It's substantial. It's what you build a meal around.
But here is the absolute crux of the issue. And if listeners take one thing away from this section, let it be this. Your tongue has opinions. Your tongue knows the difference between a Snickers bar and a baguette. Your tongue says sweet versus salty.
Okay.
But your body, your biochemistry, it does not care about your culinary definitions.
That is haunting. Your body doesn't care.
It doesn't. The source explicitly says, Bob doesn't realize that the baguette he eats for lunch turns into pure sugar the moment it hits his stomach.
Pure sugar.
Pure sugar. To your pancreas, to your bloodstream, and ultimately to your eyes, that baguette is just a giant savory lollipop.
Man. I need a minute to process that. I mean, I know bread has carbs. We all know carbs turn to sugar. We've heard that slogan a million times.
We have.
But hearing it framed as the baguette turns to pure sugar the moment it hits the stomach feels different. It feels more violent, more immediate.
It is urgent. It is immediate because it explains the A1C mystery. Bob replaced the sugar he could taste, the candy with sugar he couldn't taste, the starch.
And because he couldn't taste the sweetness.
Because he couldn't taste it, he didn't trigger that guilt mechanism or that I should stop now because this is too rich mechanism. He probably ate more of it. A whole baguette for lunch, no problem.
So Bob is walking around thinking he's dieting, but biochemically he's binging on sugar.
That's the tragedy of Baker Bob. And he's not alone. This is the standard American diet in a nutshell. We rely heavily on these savory sugars, potatoes, rice, pasta.
The beige foods.
The beige foods, exactly.
Okay, so let's get into the how of this, because you said the baguette turns into sugar. How does that happen? I mean, bread is flour. It's not sugar crystals.
Yeah.
If I lick a piece of bread, it doesn't taste like a sugar cube. How does it make that transformation so fast?
This is where we have to go down into the microscopic level. We need to look at the chemistry of the chain. This is really fascinating stuff because it explains the mechanism of digestion in a way that's, well, it's very visual.
The chain.
Yeah.
The source uses this analogy, and I found it really helpful.
It's brilliant in its simplicity. The source defines starches. So we're talking bread, rice, pasta, potatoes, the white foods, as chains of sugar molecules holding hands.
I love that imagery. Little sugar molecules holding hands in a long line.
Imagine a long line of kindergartners holding hands, stretching all the way across a playground. That whole line, that's a starch molecule, the polymer. It's big, it's clunky.
Okay.
When you put that in your mouth, it doesn't taste sweet because the chain is physically too large to fit into the little receptors on your taste buds that signal sweetness.
It literally doesn't fit.
It's like trying to fit a semi-truck into a compact parking space. It doesn't fit so the sensor doesn't go off. Your brain gets no sweet signal.
So it's physically too large to register as sugar. It's hiding in plain sight.
Exactly. But the moment you chew it, and especially when it hits your stomach, your digestive enzymes come out. Specifically, an enzyme called amylase.
Amylase.
Think of amylase as a pair of molecular scissors.
Okay, scissor.
Its only job is to run down that line of kindergartners and break those handshakes. It is snipping the line. Snap, snap, snap. And the moment those hands let go, the moment that individual kindergartner is released from the line, what is it?
It's a sugar molecule.
It is glucose molecule,
Yeah.
instantaneously. And here is why refined flour, like in Bob's baguette, is so tricky. Refined flour has been pulverized. The wheat berry has been destroyed. All the fiber has been stripped away. The chains are exposed. They are naked.
Because those scissors can get to them easily, there's no protection.
Precisely. If you eat a whole grain, like a piece of steel-cut oatmeal, the chain is wrapped in fiber armor. The scissors have to work hard to get to it. It's a slow process.
Right.
But with white flour, the work has already been done by the milling machine. The chains are just floating there waiting to be cut, so the conversion doesn't happen slowly. It's not a trickle.
No. The source uses the phrase boom sugar spike.
Boom. I mean, that word choice is so intentional. It's not a rise, it's a boom.
It's an explosion because all those handshakes break almost simultaneously. So 5, maybe 10 minutes after eating that savory baguette, your bloodstream is flooded with glucose, just as if you had eaten a handful of sugar cubes.
You're kidding me. The same impact.
In fact, some studies show that the blood sugar spike from white bread can be sharper and higher than table sugar.
Higher than table sugar. How is that even possible?
Yes, because table sugar is sucrose, which is half glucose and half fructose. Fructose processes differently. It goes to the liver first. It doesn't immediately impact blood sugar.
Okay.
But starch is 100% glucose. It goes straight into the blood. So the boom is actually more violent with the bread.
That completely reframes the idea of savory. We trust savory food. We think savory food is real food, and sweet food is treat food.
It's the meal, not the dessert.
Right. But you're saying that chemically, in the context of refined starch, that distinction is an illusion. It is a sensory illusion. It's a masquerade. And it's a dangerous one for someone like Bob or for anyone concerned about their eye health. Because when you have that boom, that spike, your body has to panic. It has to release massive amounts of insulin to wrangle that sugar. It's a chaotic event.
An emergency response.
It's a 5-alarm fire. And this brings us to the central analogy of this deep dive. We understand the chemistry now, but we need to understand the consequence. The source material talks about food as fuel for your internal fire. I think this is a really powerful way to visualize what's happening during that boom. It is, because we often hear food is fuel, and we think of a gas tank in a car. You fill it up, the car goes, it's binary.
Yeah, on or off.
But a fire is a better metaphor because a fire has quality. A fire can burn well or it can burn poorly. It can be destructive or it can be sustaining.
So let's look at scenario A, the gasoline.
Right. Scenario A is Bob's baguette. It is the sugar and the white flour. The source compares eating these foods to throwing gasoline on a fire.
I've done this. Not on purpose. Well, maybe once at a bonfire when I was younger and stupider. But you know that sound, that whoosh.
That whoosh.
Yeah.
That is exactly what is happening biologically inside your cells. You throw the baguette, the gasoline onto your metabolic fire, you get a massive flare-up, huge energy, heat, light.
Which feels good for about 20 minutes. That's the sugar high. You feel sharp, you feel energized.
Sure, you get that rush, but what happens next? What accompanies a gasoline fire? What do you see billowing up?
Smoke. A lot of black, acrid, dirty smoke.
Exactly. And this is where the analogy gets deep. This is the part that connects to the eyes. In this context, that smoke represents oxidative stress. It represents inflammation. It represents glycation. In a word, it represents damage.
Smoke is damage.
Yes. When your mitochondria, the little power plants in your cells, are flooded with that boom of glucose, they can't burn it all cleanly. They get overwhelmed.
Later.
And just like a car engine that's flooded with too much gas, they start throwing off exhaust. Free radicals. That is the smoke.
So you have these free radicals, these unstable molecules just bouncing around your system.
And they are destructive. They are like microscopic pinballs ricocheting around, damaging cell walls, damaging DNA. But now, if we connect this back to the eyes, Why are the eyes the victim of the smoke?
Yeah, why the eyes specifically? Why not the elbow?
Because of the plumbing. The eyes are incredibly vulnerable to the smoke because of the nature of their blood supply. Think about the blood vessels in your retina. These are microscopic, delicate structures.
They're tiny.
They are capillaries. They are not big, sturdy pipes like your aorta or your femoral artery. They are like tissue paper.
They're fragile.
They are incredibly fragile. So if you have a gasoline fire raging in your system and you are pumping this thick, sugary, inflammatory smoke through your blood.
Those tiny vessels are the first to get scorched.
Precisely. High blood sugar damages the microvasculature. It's like sending a high-pressure fire hose through a garden straw. The straw is going to crack, it's going to leak, it's going to scar. That is the smoke damage. This is, at its core, what diabetic retinopathy is.
And that's what Bob doesn't see. He eats the bread, he feels full, maybe he gets a little energy burst. But he doesn't see the smoke billowing through his retinal vessels.
He doesn't see the cumulative damage. He doesn't feel the capillaries leaking fluid into his retina until his vision starts to go blurry. Until the doctor sees the hemorrhages in an eye exam. That's the insidiousness of it.
Okay, that is the terrifying scenario A. We don't want the gasoline fire. We don't want the smoke. We want to keep our retinal vessels intact. Thank you very much. What is the alternative? What is scenario B?
Scenario B is the fiber in the vegetables. The source compares this to a slow-burning log.
Slow-burning log. I like that. It sounds cozy. It sounds reliable.
It's stable. Think about a good hardwood log on a fire. Does it explode? Does it go whoosh?
No. It catches slowly. It glows. It gives off heat for hours. Steady, predictable warmth.
Steady heat. Consistency. No explosion. When you eat fiber-rich foods, vegetables, whole grains that are actually whole and not ground into powder, the digestion is difficult.
Difficult in a good way.
Yes, your body has to work for it. Remember the chains of kindergartners. In vegetables, those chains are encased in fiber walls. They are in a straitjacket. The enzymes can't just snap them all at once. They have to peel away layers of fiber. It takes time.
His scissors have a hard job.
A very hard job. So the sugar is released drop by drop by drop.
So instead of the boom, you get a trickle.
You get a steady stream of fuel, no spike, no panic, no massive insulin dump, and most importantly,
No smoke.
no smoke. It's a clean burn. You are providing energy without the collateral damage. Your mitochondria can handle the flow. They burn it efficiently. There are no free radicals going rogue and attacking your retina.
You know, hearing it put this way, gasoline versus logs, it really makes you question why we crave the gasoline so much. I mean, logically, I want to be a slow-burning log.
Yeah.
I want steady energy. I hate that 2:0 p.m. crash where I feel like I need a nap under my desk.
Right.
That's the gasoline running out, isn't it?
That is the empty tank after the flare-up. The fire burns out instantly. You get a rush of insulin that often overcorrects and pushes your blood sugar low, and you are left cold and hungry again an hour later.
Whereas the log.
The log keeps you warm until dinner. It's not just about long-term health, it's about how you feel today. Do you want to feel manic and then exhausted? Or do you want to feel capable and consistent?
I want to feel capable. I think we all do. But the grocery store is full of gasoline cans disguised as lunch.
It is. The aisles are lined with gasoline, and that's why we have to treat it like a lab. We have to look past the packaging and see the fuel source. We have to ask, is this going to burn clean or is this going to smoke out my eyes?
So we've identified the problem, the beige diet, the starch chains, the gasoline fire that creates smoke and damages our eyes. That's the offense. Now we need to talk about the defense, the solution, the repair mechanism.
Right. We need to stop the damage that's avoiding the gasoline,
Right.
but we also need to build protection. We need to armor the eye against the world.
And the source calls this the eye diet. It centers on a phrase that sounds a bit marketing heavy at first, but is actually rooted in deep biology. Decoding the rainbow.
Decoding the rainbow. I love this because it takes something we usually think of as aesthetic color and reveals it as information.
Color is information.
To a biologist, yes. In nature, color isn't just decoration. A plant doesn't make itself bright red or deep green just to look pretty. It's functional.
What's the function?
A bright red berry, a dark green leaf, an orange root. Those colors are created by specific chemical compounds, pigments. And those pigments are often powerful antioxidants. They are the plant's own sunscreen and immune system. They protect the plant from the stress of sun and pests.
So when I see a red pepper, I'm not just seeing red, I'm seeing a chemical signature.
Exactly. You are seeing a nutrient payload. You are seeing data. And for the eyes, there are two specific color codes that the source highlights as non-negotiable. If you want to keep your vision, you need these colors in your cart.
Let's start with orange. That seems like the classic one.
Orange. We're talking carrots, sweet potatoes, orange peppers, pumpkin, cantaloupe, the classic beta-carotene sources.
And the payload here.
Vitamin A, or more specifically, beta-carotene, which your body converts to vitamin A.
Now, vitamin A is the classic eye vitamin. We mentioned the Bugs Bunny thing earlier. But why is it so crucial? Mechanically, what is it doing?
Vitamin A is literally the building block of vision. There is a protein in your retina called rhodopsin. This protein lives in the rods of your eye, the cells that help you see in low light.
The rods and cones we learned about in school.
The very same. Rhodopsin is the molecule that actually captures the photon of light and sends the electrical signal to your brain saying, I see something. It's the light sensing part.
It's the light trap.
It is the sensor. And here's the kicker. You cannot make rhodopsin without vitamin A. It is a structural component of the molecule. It's like trying to build a brick wall without any bricks.
So without the orange food, you literally cannot process light correctly.
You lose your night vision. That's the first sign of vitamin A deficiency. You can't see in the dark. Your cornea can also become dry and damaged because vitamin A is crucial for the surface health of the eye. It is structural. You need the orange to build the machine that sees.
Okay, so orange is the construction crew. It builds the sensor. Now let's talk about the other one. And this is the one the source really emphasizes, the one we ignore. Dark green. Dark green, spinach, kale, collard greens, Swiss chard, the leafy stuff, the stuff people push to the side of their plate.
And the payload here is lutein. Am I saying that right?
Lutein and its partner zeaxanthin. They are usually found together, but lutein is the star here.
The source has this incredible metaphor for lutein. It calls it sunglasses for the retina.
This is one of my favorite biological facts. It is not just a metaphor. It is almost literal. Listen to this mechanism. When you eat spinach, your body digests it, extracts the lutein, and puts it into your bloodstream.
But it doesn't just float around randomly. Your body has a specific transport system that seeks out lutein and zeaxanthin and sends them directly to the eye.
It's targeted delivery.
It is a targeted delivery system. It travels specifically to the macula. The macula is the dead center of your retina. It's the part responsible for your sharpest vision, your reading vision, your face recognition vision. The lutein accumulates there.
It builds up in that one spot.
It builds up in that one spot. It creates what's called the macular pigment. And what does it do once it arrives?
Tell me.
Lutein is a yellow pigment. If you extracted it, it would look yellow-orange. Now think about basic physics. What does a yellow filter do to blue light?
It filters it out. It blocks it, like those glasses people wear for screen time.
Exactly. Blue light, which comes from the sun, but also from our screens, our phones, our LED lights, is high-energy light. It's damaging. It penetrates deep into the eye and causes oxidative stress. It creates glare. When you eat lutein, you are building a yellow pigment layer right on top of your retina. It physically blocks the damaging wavelengths of light from hitting the sensitive photoreceptors underneath.
It's internal armor.
It is internal sunglasses. You are building a physical shield inside your eyeball using the salad you ate for lunch.
That is mind-blowing. I mean, we wear sunglasses on the outside to protect our eyes. But you're saying we can eat sunglasses.
You must eat sunglasses. Because the external ones can only do so much. The light still gets in. The lutein is right there at the cellular level, protecting the most precious real estate in your entire body.
And it does more than just block light.
Oh,
right?
yeah. It does double duty. Not only does it block the light, but it's a powerful antioxidant. So if any smoke from our gasoline fire does get through and reach the retina,
The lutein is there to put it out.
the lutein is there to mop it up. It neutralizes the free radicals on site.
So if we go back to the fire analogy, the smoke from the sugar is attacking the eye from the inside via the blood vessels. The high-energy light is attacking from the outside. The dark green foods are putting up a shield against both threats.
Exactly. Lutein is the ultimate defense system for the eye. It stabilizes the cell membranes. It absorbs the shock of the light. It neutralizes the free radicals. It's the bodyguard for your macula.
And yet, how many of us go days, maybe weeks, without eating something dark green?
A lot of us. If you look at the average cart, it's remarkably devoid of that deep, dark green. We might have some iceberg lettuce on a burger, which, let's be honest, is basically crunchy water. It has very little lutein. But that dark, pigment-rich green, the kale, the spinach, it's often missing completely.
It's missing because we're filling the cart with beige.
We're filling it with the gasoline. We're prioritizing the fuel that causes the damage over the nutrients that provide the protection.
It's a double whammy. You're adding the bad and omitting the good.
It's a perfect storm for ocular disease down the line.
So this brings us to the final section of our deep dive. We've been in the chemistry lab, we've been at the bonfire, we've been to the retina building shields. Now, let's go back to where we started, the grocery store.
The scene of the crime. Or, if we choose correctly, the scene of the solution.
You need to do a cart audit.
A cart audit. This is the actionable takeaway. Next time you are standing in that checkout line, looking at your haul on the conveyor belt, I want you to detach for a second.
Look at the colors.
What are we looking for? Or what are we looking out for?
Is it a sea of beige?
The Baker Bob cart.
Picture it. Box of pasta, loaf of bread, bag of rice, box of crackers, bag of potatoes, cereal, chicken breast, cheese, beige, 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 beige.
It's so easy to do. It's comfort food. It's cheap. It's shelf stable. It's what our kids eat.
It is. I'm not judging it from a cultural standpoint.
Yeah.
But we have to be honest about the biology. If your cart is beige, your body's going to be on fire. You are loading up on gasoline. You are preparing for a week of glucose spikes, booms, and smoke damage.
And no sunglasses? No sunglasses. You are sending your eyes into battle naked. You are exposing those delicate retinal vessels to the smoke, and you are exposing the photoreceptors to the light with zero protection.
So you need to shift the palette. We need the rainbow cart.
We need the rainbow cart. And again, this isn't just poetic. It's a medical mandate for your eyes. You need the orange for structure. You need the dark green for shielding. You need the reds from tomatoes and the purples from berries for general antioxidant support.
The source puts it bluntly, your eyes need the rainbow.
It's a requirement. If you want to keep your vision sharp as you age, if you want to avoid macular degeneration, if you want to protect those tiny blood vessels, you have to provide the raw materials. The body cannot do it alone.
Especially with something like lutein.
Yes, and that is a key point. The body cannot manufacture lutein.
We can't make it at all.
We cannot synthesize it. It is an essential nutrient. If you don't eat a green leaf, you have zero lutein in your system. Your internal sunglasses vanish. Your shield density drops to zero.
That is a scary thought. It makes that spinach salad feel a lot less like a diet choice, something I do to lose 5 pounds, and more like almost like a prescription.
It is a prescription. It's a prescription for preservation. It's maintenance for the most complex machine you own. It's like changing the oil in your car. You don't do it to make the car look better. You do it so the engine doesn't seize.
So let's visualize the switch. We take out the baguette from Bob's lunch.
We take out the gasoline.
We replace it with, what does the rainbow lunch look for Bob?
Instead of the baguette sandwich, Bob has a massive bowl of green spinach, kale, maybe some arugula.
That's the green.
He throws in roasted sweet potatoes, that's his orange, maybe some red and yellow peppers. He puts a piece of salmon or chicken on top for protein. He uses an olive oil vinaigrette.
Why the oil specifically?
Because lutein and vitamin A are fat soluble. You need some healthy fat to absorb them properly. So the dressing isn't just for flavor, it's functional.
So this whole meal is designed for his eyes.
The result, it's a slow-burning log. The fiber in the greens and the sweet potatoes slows down the digestion. He gets steady energy. No boom. No insulin panic, no smoke. And he has just deposited a fresh layer of protection onto his retina.
It sounds so simple when you break it down like that, but it requires breaking that Baker Bob mindset, the whole savory versus sweet thing.
It requires realizing that not eating candy isn't enough. You have to understand the chain. You have to respect the biology of the starch.
And you have to realize that the savory taste is just a mask.
It's a mask. Don't let the lack of sweetness fool you. Respect the chemistry.
Respect the chemistry. I feel like that should be on a t-shirt. Or maybe a lab coat.
I'd wear it.
So we've covered a lot of ground today. We started with the mystery of Baker Bob, the man who cut the candy but kept the bread and couldn't figure out why his body was still struggling.
And we learned that to his body, the bread was the candy. The chain breaks, the hands let go, and boom, sugar spike.
We looked at the fire analogy, the difference between the violent, smoky flare-up of the gasoline, sugar flour, and the steady, clean heat of the logs, fiber veg.
And we realized that smoke is damage, specifically oxidative stress. And our eyes are right in the path of that smoke because of those tiny, fragile blood vessels.
And finally, we armed ourselves. We decoded the rainbow. We learned that orange is vitamin A for structure, and dark green is lutein, the internal sunglasses that protect us from the light.
It's a complete system. Avoid the damage, build the defense. It's a two-pronged strategy.
So here is my final thought for you to chew on, pun intended. We walk through the world looking at food based on what it is right now. A donut looks like a donut. A carrot looks like a carrot. A baguette looks like a crusty, delicious stick of bread.
We judge it by its cover. We judge it by the package.
We judge it by the sensory experience of the first 3 seconds of eating it. But what if we developed a kind of X-ray vision? What if, when you looked at that baguette, you didn't see the crust? You saw the chain of sugar molecules waiting to explode.
You saw the future. You saw the chemical reaction about to happen.
Exactly. What if we looked at food not for what it tastes like, but for what it becomes?
That changes everything because a baguette becomes sugar. A baguette becomes smoke.
Right.
Spinach becomes armor. Spinach becomes sunglasses. An orange pepper becomes a light sensor.
If we could see that transformation sitting on the shelf, if the label said internal sunglasses instead of spinach, I think our grocery carts would look very, very different tomorrow.
I think the beige would disappear pretty fast. We'd all be chasing the rainbow.
I think so too. So, listeners, next time you're in the grocery store lab, put on your mental lab coat. Check your data. Don't let the savory label fool you. And for the love of your eyes, go find some internal sunglasses.
Get the greens.
Thanks for diving in with us. We'll see you next time.
Take care.